Hi everyone. Normalization is one of the, you can say, very important concepts of DBMS or database management systems. This basically determines whether your a particular given relation is a good relation or not, or whether it's a bad design of the schema or not, and we can convert it into a bad design into a good design as well. So when we talk about the normalization, so it is the process of decomposing relations with anomalies to produce smaller and a well structured relations. So in decomposition, we basically you can say split a table into different smaller parts and try to eliminate all the anomalies, all the redundant entries, duplication, and all those things that may lead towards a bad design, or that may basically cause some problem or some flaw in our design or in our actual database. So if a table is normalized, it fulfills all the condition of a normalization, then we are confident that no matter what query we may apply on that table, we may end up with a you can say positive or good result if our query is correct. If we have written the query that targets basically the same type of problem that we may need to address. Okay ji. So normalization is achieved in different stages or in different parts. So there are basically three different normal forms. Now, what are basically normal forms? Normal form is a state of a relation that results from applying simple rules regarding functional dependencies to the relation. Okay, so this basically, you can see, these normal form contributes towards the normalization or determining whether a given relation or whether a given table is in good form or not. And we can also convert it into the good form, or you can say into the form that basically does not have that much issues. Okay, so there are basically three different forms of normalization. First normal form, I write it 1NF. Second normal form, I write it like 2NF, and third normal form, I write it like 3NF, third normal form. Okay, all of these different normal form have their own condition, have their own you can say criteria on which we evaluate the particular relation or try to convert it by using decomposition you can say concept. Okay, so when we talk about the first normal form, it assumes, first normal form assumes that the all the attributes are atomic. Okay, so attributes are atomic. What does that mean? That means that if your table has different attributes, all the attributes contain only a single value. Composite value or multi-valued attributes are, you can say, are not allowed here. All the values must be a single value. That is, for example, if I target the address, so address must contain only one value, not city number, not not street number, city, lane, etc, etc. Similarly, there's another multi-valued attribute known as hobbies. So hobbies may differ person by person. So your the table must have the particular number of columns for hobbies, or there should be a separate table for hobbies. We cannot go like and we cannot basically accept anything that is having more than one values in our, you can say, particular relation. So first normal form basically states that all the attributes that are being considered or being part of the table should be atomic. That should have only you can say one particular value or a single value. Second thing is there should be no repeating groups. No repeating groups. That is, we have to identify all those rows or all those columns or all those cells that those values are repeating for different number of tuples. So multi-valued attributes, grouping, these things are not allowed in, you can say, first normal form. So in order to get a better understanding of that, let's say I'll consider a relation department. Okay, so this particular entity has, you can say, certain attributes like department name, maybe its unique identifier as department number, uh, manager SSN, and let's say department location. Okay, so here department number is a primary key is a unique identifier of this particular given table. Here you can see that department name, every department has a single name. For example, if I may add values to this table or records to this table, let's say I say that first department is CS, is department number 1, manager ID is, let's say, 1 2 3 4 5, and department is located in a particular country or particular city of the country, let's say ISB. Maybe it is located in another city, maybe another city. So you may add any number of location to this particular column or field. So this basically is this is the single record that I have written here so far. Maybe there's another department, I call it like RS, you name it any name, okay. Its ID is 2, let's say the manager is 1 2 4 3 5, and the department is located in ISP. Okay, so now here you can see that I have entered 2 records in this particular table, and here you can see that first department is located in 3 different locations. If I underline it like this so that you could get a better idea, ISB, RWP and LHR, whereas the second department is located in only one particular value. So this basically you can see I have got what multi-valued attributes here. This is my multi-valued attribute over here. So as per the, you can say, rule, or as per the property first normal form, we cannot have multi-valued attributes in this particular, you can say, in the records. This is the area which is not allowed. This multi-valued attribute is not allowed. Attributes must be atomic. So in this particular case, we can say that this relation, given relation, or the given designs of the schema or design of the relation is not in first normal form. This is not normalized. This is violating the property. So in order to convert it into a, you can say, appropriate form, or in a, you can say, the form where it is acceptable for us, we have got you can say 2 or 3 different ways in order to perform it. Okay, now how to solve this type of problem? So number 1 solution that I may think of is that, let's say, why not we try to like create different rows for them. For example, here I have got department like this. If I may redraw this structure, so this is D name, this is D number, this is SSN of manager and manager SSN, and this is department location. Okay, so this is my basically table. Okay, so now here let's say my department number is, department name is CN, department number is 1, manager SSN 1 is 2 3 4 5, 1 2 3 4 5, and department location I have got 3 different, you can say, locations here. So if I split it like this, I may say that let's draw it like this, ISB, and then again repeat it like this, 1 2 3 4 5, and for since this department appears in 3 locations, so I'll just repeat this record 3 times like this. This is one of the possible solution, and since my second record is RS, department number 2, and manager SSN is 1 2 4 3 5, and it appears only once. So here you can see that in this particular way of dealing with this problem, splitting with this type of thing, you can see that I have created the different rows for it, whereas this is not allowed. One of the main basic reason is this department number here is a primary key, and we cannot duplicate the primary key. So technically your DB does not allows you to insert these 2 records. So we cannot do this. So this approach we cannot, I'll just write cross over here, we cannot go with this approach because we cannot expand it like this. Okay ji. So the second strategy that I may come up in order to solve this is, let's say if I modify the schema a little bit, I have department name 1, department number another record, manager SSN another attribute, department location, I'll modify it like department location 1, department location 2, and similarly department location 3. I may write it like this. And in all these things, what I can do is that if let's say my department CS, department number 1, manager SSN 1 2 3 4 5, department location is first location ISP, second location is RWP, and third location is LHR. So you can see that I have got three different locations, and I have like expanded the location key horizontally. So in this way I have corrected this particular multi-valued problem here by creating three different columns. But this also arises a new type of problem, that is, if I consider second one entry where the department exists only at a single location, then these two values will be null, and we may encounter, you can say, null values here, which is also not, you can say, a preferable approach. So we will you can say this may lead towards the you can say null values, which as per Informa guidelines we must avoid the occurrence of null values. So we basically discard this approach as well. So now we will consider the third approach, and what this third approach says is we have to basically perform the decomposition. So how do we perform the decomposition on this particular relation? We basically look for the attribute that is causing problem, that is you can say that has made these two approaches as a bad or a failed approach. So by looking at that, we look at the multi-valued attributes here, which is this. So we basically split this schema into two different bars, that is, number one should be like dname, T number, and manager SSN, where D number is our primary key, and in this particular you can say table I give it the name of department. Okay, so here you can see that there is no attribute that is having more than one value or more than, you can say, multi-valued attribute, and this attribute that is basically causing the problem, I basically split into another table, okay, and give it a name of, let's say, department underscore location, and I split it like this: department number along with department location. I create a separate table for that, like this. So by creating this type of table, what we have got as a, you can say, output here is, in this table if I add the data in this particular table, so what do I get? Department name, let's say CS, department number, let's say 1, and manager SSN 1 2 3 4 5, whereas department number 2 is RS, department number is 2, and manager SSN is 1 2 4 3 5. Okay, so these two will be part of, you can say, if I expand this or convert this into the DB tables, so I receive this table. Whereas when I talk about this particular relation, what I'll get as a output is, since I have got two departments, this department number is also primary key here, so department number 1 having location ISP, here we have to make these two as a primary key, both of them combines, and in order to you can say create a primary key. So ISP number 1 departments appear on another location RWP, and appears on another location LHR. Similarly, second department appear on only one location, which is ISP. So you can see that in this way we have eliminated the repeating groups, and we have basically created a new tables that are basically satisfying the normal form. So in this particular this scenario that has been presented to you, you have seen that we have identified that the given relation is not in first normal form. Why? Because the attributes are not atomic, and then we have decomposed it and converted it into our two different tables that are in normalized form and that are fulfilling the, you can say, first normal form. Okay, this basically concludes the second normal form or first normal form. Now we will look at the second normal form. We will basically follow this approach, decomposition approach over here. Okay, so now let's look at the second normal form. That is, what is our second normal form, and how do we determine whether a given relation is in second normal form or not. Okay ji. So when talking about the second normal form, we must keep one thing in our mind, that if a relation is not in first normal form, it can never be in second normal form. So for second normal form, the relation must satisfy first normal form or must be in first normal form. Okay, second property of second normal form is every non-prime key attribute is fully functionally dependent on the primary key attribute. That means we have to basically remove the partial dependencies. Okay, so what is partial dependencies, and when does partial dependency occur? So whenever we have, you can say, primary key, which is basically a composite key, we may encounter the partial dependencies. That is, part of non-primary key attribute may depend on, you can say, part of primary key, and that may cause the partial dependencies. For example, let me draw a schema for you. Let's take an example of employee project table having certain attributes like SSN, which is a unique identifier to determine any employee, and P number. This is, you can say, primary key that uniquely identifies the project number. Similarly, hours, that how many time a particular employee have spent on a particular project. And let's say E name, the name of the employee, and P name, let's say the name of the project, and P location, the location at which the project may be, you can say, installed or worked on. So here we consider this location as a single attribute, not as a multi-valued attribute. We are considering it as a single atomic attribute, single valued attribute. Okay, so let me draw the boundaries or the schema properly like this, so that we can understand what are these attributes and how are they related. Here you can see our primary key is composed of two different keys, SSN and P number. So primary key is basically composite key. Now here we will basically look for the partial dependencies and functional dependencies. Okay, so basically we will evaluate each and every non-primary key attributes and figure out whether what are the dependencies, what are the functional dependencies, and what are the partial dependencies. So for that, you see, this hour basically determines which employee has spent how many time on which particular project. So you can see that this hour depends for its existence on both of the primary key, that is on employee and on the project as well. Okay, so when we talk about the name, so it is the name of the employee. So E name for its unique existence depends only and only on the employee SSN, that is on the particular employee on which it is depending. That if I have got an SSN, I have got a unique identifier. You can figure out my name, my first name, last name, address, salary, and whatever attributes that are associated with me using my unique identifier. Similarly, P name and P location are the two attributes that basically requires P number, or that basically demands this part of primary key in order to uniquely identify them. So you have seen that there I have got different type of dependencies, partial dependencies and functional dependencies. Okay, so let me revise the definition of functional dependencies for you. All those dependencies or all those attributes that directly depend on the primary key, whether it is a single valued or a composite key that depends on the primary key, all those attributes come under the umbrella of functional dependencies. So here we have seen that this is the only attribute that depends on both of the primary key for its unique existence. So I write it like this: SSN comma P number. This is basically my primary key. This both attributes combines together in order to form a single primary key of this employee project relation. Okay, so here you can see that on these two attributes there is only a single attribute, hours, that depend on both of them. Okay, so this is my only, you can say, functional dependency over here. There is no other attribute that completely depends or relies on the, you can say, this particular primary key for its unique existence. Okay ji. So now here what I do is I have listed the functional dependencies. Now I'll try to figure out the partial dependencies over here. Since I know that there are two attributes that have combined together in order to formalize a single primary key of this relation, so there is quite a large chance that we may encounter the partial dependencies over here. So what are the partial dependencies here? We will basically look for all those attributes that depend on part of primary key for their existence. That is, I can observe from here that SSN is a first part of the primary key, and on SSN ename relies on. That is, you can find the unique value of ename by looking at the SSN. Similarly, there's second part of the primary key, which is p number, and on p number you can see that p name and p location relies on. So I have got p name, and on p number the second attribute that relies on is p location. Okay, and third type of dependency is, you can say, transitive dependency, and here there is no transitive dependency that exists here, because there is no non-key attribute that depends on another non-key attribute other than primary key attribute. Okay, so here you have seen that I have got no transitive dependencies but partial dependencies and functional dependencies. Now what is the other step? I have to basically figure out the unique sets. What do I mean by that? I look at the left side of the arrow and try to figure out the unique keys on which the right side factors are depending on. That is, number 1 is this, number 2 is this, and number 3 is this. I have got four, you can say 3 and 4 different, you can say, values, attributes, or the set of attributes on which 4 different keys on which these attributes are relying on for their unique existence. So among these 4 keys I have got 3 unique key sets. What sets? Number 1 is, I have you can say, if I write it like this in front of these dependencies, one set is SSN and P number, on which one thing relies on, which is hours. Second set is SSN, on which something rely on. Third unique value or third set is P number, on which 2 different values rely on. I don't repeat it like twice. So it means that when I have identified different groups or different sets like this, that SSN P number, here SSN, here P number, so this basically will will basically make the, you can say, primary key of my new relations, like this. So I have basically decomposed my single relation into 3 different relations, and now I fill in the attributes. Here you can see what are the attributes that depends on both of them. Only one, hours. Okay, so what are the attributes that depend on SSN for unique existence? Only one, which is ename. And what are the attributes that depend on P number? That is P name and P location. Okay, so here I have decomposed one big table into 3 different tables, and I name them accordingly. For example, this represents the works table, that how much time our employers spend on a particular project. This represents employee table, and this represent project table. So here I have decomposed one particular relation into, you can say, 3 different relations, 1, 2 and 3. This is my main relation A, and hence I have normalized it into I have brought it into the second normal form, and have normalized this table into and decomposed this table into 3 different parts. This is how we can determine whether a given relation is normalized or not, in second form or not, and we can bring it into the second normal form as well. Okay, so now we will look for the third normal form. That is, what is third normal form and how can we bring any particular relation into the third normal form. Okay, so for the condition of third normal form is that your relation must be in second normal form. It must satisfy second normal form, and secondly there should be you can say no transitive dependencies. We will eliminate all the transitive dependencies from the you can say the given relation or a given table. So in order to explain that, let's consider a table as schema. Basically, take the example of employee department table or schema, where we are having attributes like department name, SSN, and department name is basically the name of the department, and you can say SSN is the name unique identifier of employee name, which represents basically the name of the employee. You can add any attribute like let's say birth date, that represent the birth date of an employee, or any other attribute that you may want. Similarly, when we talk about the D name, we make add like you can say department number, which is the unique identifier of the department, and department location as well. Okay, so these are the attributes that basically refer to, you can say, different attributes of different scenarios of real life. You may add, let's say, department manager SSN in order to you can say complete the this table. So basically you can say this relation comprises of two different type of data. One is of employee and another one is of the you can say department. These three are of employee, whereas this one and this and this is of department. So let me rewrite it for you in order to have better understanding. I'll basically restructure this schema and write it like this: SSN, which is employee unique identifier, okay, E name, which is employee's name, B date, which is employee's birth date, D number, department's number, unique identifier, D name as the name of the department, D location as the location of the department, and D manager SSN, that is the SSN or unique identifier of the manager. Okay, so this is basically the schema that I be working on. Okay, now if I have to determine whether this particular relation is in third normal form or not, I will assume that it does not have any partial dependencies, because it has satisfied second normal form, and now we are looking for the third normal form, whether it is normalized or not. So again, here we will look for all the partial and functional all the dependencies and transitive dependencies especially. So here you can see that employee SSN, employee name depend on SSN for unique existence. Similarly, you can say birth date also depend on SSN for unique existence, and you can also identify D number from SSN. Whereas on the other end, if you can look at like this, like department's name, department you can say SSN, and department manager location, all these things, sorry, not department SSN, department name, department number, location, and managers SSN, all of these things depends on department number for their unique value, because these things are related to department, not the employee. It's not like this that if you have entered an employee, you need to enter another department for that. You create department separately, and you you hire the employees as a separate activity. So it's not like this that if you have employed if you have hired a department, now you create a if you have hired an employee and then you try to create another department for that particular, it's not like that. You first create the department and then put employees into the particular department. So that's why these things depend on department number, whereas department number depend on SSN. So if I write transitive dependency, so you can see that the transitive dependency here is for SSN, and you can figure out department number from SSN and all the details, all the relevant details from, you can say, particular department number. That is, here you can write it like department name depend on department number, which depends on SSN. Similarly, department location and departments, you can say manager SSN. all of these things depends on department number for their unique existence, which in turns depend on SSN for its unique value in this particular, you can say, table. Okay ji. So here we have got three partial dependencies. Now how do we resolve it? That's another question. Okay, so take it like this. That's my way. I usually consider this thing, intermediate value, as a part which should be the part of this table and this table as well. So I basically decompose this table into two different tables, whereas this central and attribute will become the part of both of the tables. So if I split it like this, I do it like, if all those attributes that are functional dependencies, you can see these things that are represented by green, these are functional dependencies. Okay, and this thing that I have written over here, this is transitive dependency. Okay, so what I do here is basically I'll draw the table with respect to the functional dependencies. How? I create a one table with the name employee, and employee would be having attributes like SSN as primary key and all those attributes that depend on SSN for their unique existence, that is ename, employee's birth date, and employee's department number. This will become the part of, you can say, employee table, and I create second table as department, and in this table, and in this department table, I'll add department number, department name, department location, and department's manager SSN as a, you can see, the attributes of this particular table. So here you can see that department number is the primary key of department table, whereas SSN is the primary key of employee table. In this way, we have basically decomposed the given relation into, you can say, this given particular relation into two relation. One is employee and second one is department, and we have basically split it into the two parts and decomposed the remove the, you can say, transitive dependencies and brought the given relationship into the third normal form. Okay, so this is the whole procedure in which we can we may be asked like this, that determine whether this given relation is in third normal form or not. So you have seen that there exists transitive dependencies, so this is not in third normal form. And how we brought it in third normal form? By applying the decomposition on this table and bringing it into this form by eliminating the transitive dependencies. This is how we can normalize any given relationship and bring it into the third normal form and determine whether the existing relation is normalized or not. It is very necessary that every you can say relation that we are going to work on, the database design we are going to build, must be normalized, because by bringing the table or relation into the normal form, we ensure that we have eliminated or at least minimized the occurrence of null values, occurrence of redundant data, and all the anomalies that may arise as a result of update, that is insertion, deletion, or modification. So that's it for today's lecture. If you have any question, please write in the comments. If you like the video, press the like button and subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching.